2008. Did you tell Bank of America CFO Joe Price that you did not think Bank of America could back out of the Merrill Lynch deal, invoking the MAC?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I gave that advice.
Were you fired 9 days after giving that advice?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I was.
Do you know why you were fired?
No, Mr. Chairman, I don't know why I was fired. I don't know whether it had anything to do with the advice I gave or might give, or whether it had to do with something else. I don't know why I was fired. I wasn't given an explanation.
Did you at any point have a conversation with Ken Lewis talking about your role after the merger of Bank of America and Merrill Lynch? At any point did they talk to you about what your role would be after that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, on the evening that we negotiated the Merrill Lynch merger, Mr. Lewis told me personally that I would be the general counsel of the combined company following the merger.
But it didn't happen?
No, sir, it didn't.
Let me just move forward to you, Mr. Moynihan. Just to make sure I'm clear, did anyone in the government force Bank of America to go through with this deal?
No, sir.
No one in the government?
No, sir.
We know much more now about the MAC and this entire deal than we did last summer. If you believe there was something material about the Merrill deal that made you want to back out of it, why didn't you think it was material to the average American who was thinking about buying some of your stock and disclosing it publicly?
Mr. Chairman, when I became general counsel and we worked and looked at the $18 billion loss that we were facing at Merrill Lynch, we believed we had a valid claim for a MAC. The disclosure requirements would arise when we had a duty to disclose those, which was later when we announced our earnings in January.
Being you're sitting next to Mr. Maopoulos, let me ask you a question. Did you think he was a good lawyer? Being you're sitting next to him.
Yes, sir, I did think Tim was a good general counsel.
I'm sorry, Mixon.
Yes, I did think he was a good general counsel.
Do you think it made sense to fire someone who had been the top lawyer for the previous 5 years, especially right in the middle of one of the biggest deals in Bank of America's history? Didn't you feel uncomfortable with that?
Mr. Chairman, the times that we were going through in December 2008 was we were downsizing the company relatively dramatically, and we were changing 10% of our executives were terminated, and which is terrible things and terrible times to go through, but part of the economic stress. And the changes that were made, as best I know, were made as in the context of us changing the numbers of senior executives we had because of the economic stress we were under. It's a tough thing to go through, but it's part of being about business, and I think it's clear that that's what drove the decision.
Yeah. I just wanted you to repeat one thing. There's some question about the government's involvement here. The government did not pressure you at any point to do anything that you did not want to do?
I did not personally feel at any point pressure by the government to do something that was not in the best interest of our shareholders.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Gifford, the committee has obtained 2 emails you sent regarding the Bank of America's deal with Merrill Lynch. In one of those emails, you used the phrase, screw the shareholders. Screw the shareholders. And the other, you expressed disagreement with the way Bank of America approved mergers. Can you tell us any more about what you had in mind when you wrote those emails? Is there anything else you could tell us?
Yeah, I can, Mr. Chairman. I'm obviously not terribly proud of the choice of words, to be sure. The first reference to an email was, as I recall, the middle of January. And it happened during the middle of a board meeting in an exchange with a very good friend, and we were being rather informal, as the words might suggest. And we were going back and forth, and it was during that meeting that we were announcing earnings for January for the fourth quarter in the year, which were certainly unsatisfactory, and we knew would have a very negative effect on share price. We also eliminated the dividend down to a penny. What I was doing, for me, my holdings in Bank of America are very significant for me and my family, and so you took it a little out of context. The actual expression or the actual line was, unfortunately, it's also screw the shareholders. I don't like saying that word in a public forum. and what I was doing is expressing remorse for all shareholders.
Right. Let me just ask this very quickly before we move on. Mr. May and, of course, and Mr. Gifford, Ken Lewis told this committee that he and the board ultimately decided to go through with the Merrill deal because it was in the best interest of the company. Do you agree that buying Merrill Lynch was in the best interest of Bank of America?
Yes, I do, sir. Back in September, when the board was first presented with this opportunity, after many probing questions, I might add, because these were difficult times, it was not if you will, a slam dunk transaction. But in my opinion, the long-term strategic benefits were such that I voted for the transaction.
I also voted for the transaction, and to this day still feel that it is a tremendous combination of two wonderful companies.